We've observed her character as well as hers. But now let's focus on the students. Surabhi and Deepak Yadav. We'll start with Ms. Surabhi. Some feedback on her performance and on her enactment of the character of Miss Anna. Who would like to go first? What's the feedback? Keep it very honest. Keep it very constructive. Yes, Meenakshi.
मैम दीपक मतलब कम्युनिकेशन उसकी काफ़ी अच्छी थी।
starting with Miss Singh.
हाँ, सुरभि की कम्युनिकेशन वैसे ठीक थी, लेकिन जो वॉइस टोन थी वो बिल्कुल मतलब डाउन थी एज कम्पेयर टू दीपक। और सुरभि मतलब आंसर करने में उसको थोड़ा वो हो रहा था कि मतलब कैसे क्या किस क्वेश्चन को कैसे आंसर करना है, और क्या कहते हैं वो उतना क्लियर नहीं थी कि उसे कैसे बोलना चाहिए, मतलब जो क्वेश्चन उस पर उठ रहे थे कि कैसे बोलते करके वो चीज़ में वो क्लियर नहीं थी।
Very good feedback. Thank you. Kshitij had to say something.
I'm talking about Surabhi. मैम उसके facial expressions बहुत अच्छे थे और she was serious, पूरा serious थी अपने रोल को लेकर के, and she was little bit nervous as I can see on her face, और मैम she was completely up to the mark as I said.
Overall अगर देखें तो she did stay in the zone of the character क्योंकि इनकी क्लास लग रही थी. Okay. Amitesh Shahi, you were raising your hand. Oh, come on, go for it. Speak up. Miss Anna's character. Be honest.
I think
Because she belongs from it.
I think Surabhi's expression was same the whole time.
That's exactly what you bring on. So why were you hiding on that?
Yes.
That's exactly my point. Could you elaborate? Why do you think so? एक ही expression.
जैसे कि जब उनकी तारीफ हो रही थी या फिर उनकी बुराई हो रही थी, उनकी एक्सप्रेशंस एक ही तरीके के थे पूरे समय।
I wanted someone to catch that and comment on that. She is enacting a character. She is a human being who has emotions. When she was being praised, she was already anticipating that this evaluation is going to go very well. It is already there in the script. जो आपको बल दी गई है. She comes and she starts with a smiling face, and then slowly she starts to look distressed. So that enactment of the character has to come out, and emotions can only be shown through facial expressions and the tone of your voice. So if your facial expressions aren't changing and the tone is pretty much the same, then how do we feel your emotion as a human being or as any character? Anything else did you catch which was relevant? One thing, but a good point. That is what we have to work on. ये हमने भी महसूस किया. Okay, somebody from there. Fahad, what would you like to say about Miss Anna's character?
I guess.
Okay. Run to him. We want to capture his voice.
I guess Surabhi just needed to perform with the expressions of the character. She need to make changes in that, and she was good all the way.
Overall, she was good. One last point, one last constructive criticism about Miss Anna before we wrap up with her character.
Proper eye contact.
Eye contact is fine, yes, but anything else which she can work on apart from facial expressions, yes.
Ma'am, her answers was like, okay sir.
Exactly. These are the 2 points I wanted you to catch. Yes, please, Tali Vijay. The 2 biggest drawbacks with the performance. 1, same expression all the time. And even if I am being criticized, I will put up some fight, some resistance. I will not fight with my team. Amitesh Shahi, will you please sit down over here? If Amitesh Shahi is evaluating my performance and is criticizing me, I will not just give up suddenly every time. Okay sir, I'm sorry. I will try to speak something at least in my defense. I will do it respectfully. I will do it politely because he is my supervisor. I can't afford to be rude. But psychologically, every human being tries to defend themselves. If they know that they can't do it rudely, if they can't be aggressive, then they will do it politely at least. Some points should have come up from you in your defense. But I have submitted my medical note and the HRD said, for example, I'm saying this for example, and the HRD assured me that there will be no problem for this month's performance appraisal because I was having medical conditions. And sir, if you would like to have a proof, I have them my doctor's notes and my medical notes. I can provide them to you if you want. I really have a genuine medical concern going on right now. I am still trying to defend myself. Now he can beat me down after that. The next point, communication skills. So I have no problem with my team members, but sometimes I tend to get a little socially awkward. So even if I postpone the conversation, but every other day I do try to tackle their problems and I come up with solutions, I wonder why they are still facing problems with me. I'm trying to still build a conversation. Conversation ज़्यादा Miss Anna नहीं बना पाई, ऐसा हमको महसूस हुआ. I will try to defend. Naturally, the conversation will become more two-way instead of one-way. What I felt was it was slightly more one-way because most of the talking was being done by Mr. Mike. And then एक और point क्या था यहाँ पे? Work from home. I could have elaborated on it, but thank God you used that word which I made you write. Favor. उस पर तो मैं बहुत खेल सकती थी. Sir, I do understand it's not a part of the policy, but I can show you my medical records. I'm suffering from deep anxiety these days. A lot of issues are going on at home. But this is just between you and me. If you can understand my problem, I would like a favor from you if it is possible. 2-3 बार मैं उस favor के लिए push भी करती to the brink of irritating him probably, and then he would have shut me down. Miss Anna, it is absolutely not possible. The same policy applies to all. So, beta, in your character, some resistance, yes, some defense, some explanation for your character, or some explanation for your lack of performance has to come up so that the conversation can become more balanced and more two-way. सिर्फ आप सुन रहे हो, बहुत जल्दी give up कर देते हो. You know, you're dropping your defenses too soon for every parameter of evaluation. So he gets a lot of time to talk, which is good for him because now he will leverage that. He will. Anyone will. But you need to have a healthy competition with him in terms of a conversation. Spar with him. पुराने ज़माने में इसको sword fight बोलते थे. Spar with him healthily so that you defend yourself, you throw something at him, he comes back with his defense, you say something to him, then he comes back with his response. It becomes more two-way and more healthy. So we need to work on that. Facial expressions, yes, pretty much the same throughout. तो उस पे काम करना है. Sometimes you have to show more stress. Sometimes you have to show some desperation. Sometimes you could show hopelessness because I'm asking for the favor so many times, but he is just refusing all the time. So there's utter hopelessness also. And at the end, some expression of, okay, there's a resignation. I have to follow the company policy. And in the beginning, when he says, आपको पता है आज क्यों बुलाया गया है? Yes, sir, I know. I'm happy because I think it's all going to be great. I performed wonderfully well. ये तो मैं सोच रही हूँ. So that variation of facial expression, tonality of your voice, and actual content to speak in your defense has to be improvised for the future. Done with Miss Anna. Thank you so much. You may sit down. Let's come to his performance. Let's take some feedback on Mr. Deepak Yadav. Who would like to go first? Kshitij.
मैंने दीपक को देखा है, जैसे कि ये पूरे रोल में अपने आप को इंडल्ज कर लेते हैं, पूरी तरीके से रोल में उतर जाते हैं और एक जो कॉन्फिडेंस होता है उसके साथ बोलते हैं, अपने आप को प्रेजेंट करते हैं. वही मैंने इनके फेस पे भी देखा और इनके जो वे ऑफ स्पीकिंग थी या वे अपने आप को जो प्रेजेंट कर रहे थे अपने आपको सबके सामने, लाइक मिस एना के सामने, तो इट वाज अमेजिंग. बट मैम उनसे मैं यही कहूँगा कि ही नीड्स टू वर्क ऑन सम, लाइक ये बहुत फास्ट बोल देते हैं कि जो पेस है ना उस पर थोड़ा सा अगर ये वर्क करें तो ही इज टू गुड.
He is too good in terms of staying in the character throughout the time frame. This could have been a 20-minute role play, it could have been a 1-hour role play. Consistency, the ability to stay in the character is great in him. So that is a great point which all of us should learn. When we are in the character, consistency of staying in the character and not coming out of the character, getting back into the character. That should not happen. ऐसा सडनली नहीं लगना चाहिए कि दीपक अचानक से माइक से बाहर आ गए, अचानक से बिहेविंग लाइक दीपक. He was completely behaving like Mike all the time. Consistency is the word, you can write it for yourself. अगर आप थोड़ा सा धीरे बोलेंगे तो आपका जो कंटेंट है वो ज़्यादा रजिस्टर होगा एंड पीपल हु आर ऑब्जर्विंग यू विल हैव मोर टाइम टू grasp what you are trying to say. So your content, the message that you are trying to deliver becomes easy for your audience to understand. Thank you. Anyone else? I need one more feedback from Mr. Mike's character. Yes. Let's focus on Mr. Amitesh.
As he is a CEO, his
The
pronunciation.
CEO नहीं थे. He was a supervisor.
Supervisor.
CEO नहीं थे. It was very clear in the role play. He is certainly not the CEO. He is not the top boss. Team lead हो सकते थे, supervisor हो सकते थे, manager हो सकते थे.
इनके
Not a CEO.
pronunciations थोड़े अच्छे हो सकते थे.
Yes, ma'am.
That is one thing which I will agree with because I deal with communication. Pronunciation पे काम करें.
यस मैम, लाइक मैम बीच बीच में वो मैम यूज़ कर दे रहे थे। लाइक एज एम्प्लॉय बैठा हुआ है वहाँ पे सामने, तो आप सीईओ हैं, सो आप मैम नहीं यूज़ कर सकते ना, एज ए एम्प्लॉय से ट्रीट करना चाहिए, ना कि मतलब उसको एक मतलब अपने एक लेवल सेम लेवल पे आप उसे ट्रीट कर सकते हैं।
Valuable point. I'll give the camera back to you. So, although he was not a CEO, point is very valid. You are in a senior position. तो मैम मत बोलिए. Let's stick to the name. Corporate culture है. Miss Anna, Miss Sophie, whoever you are. Even in schools these days, international schools, there is no such thing as ma'am. Students students are learning this international culture of calling facilitators as miss this or miss that. This is happening at the school level. At the college level, sir and ma'am applies because professors are very senior to you. But school में कुछ और हो रहा है, universities में कुछ और हो रहा है. This was a proper corporate setup. A senior position should always address a person who is subordinate or in a junior position by their name. Respectfully, so Mr. Gupta, Miss Singh, but Mr. and Miss followed by the name. तो हम मैम बार-बार बोल लेना. उससे ये पता चलता है कि हम कभी-कभी भूल जाते हैं what position we are holding in that particular role play. So, okay. Staying away from using ma'am, consistency was great. He can work on his pronunciation and he can work on the pace of his delivery so that people can understand his message. Any other feedback? Fahad, let's go to Fahad quickly before we wrap up.
Ma'am, in my opinion, I think Deepak has outperformed each and every student here. And I think he just needs to work on his pronunciation and he has to be a bit calm in his pace. And I guess he has performed very well.
Consistency was absolutely awesome.
Yes,
And he definitely got into the skin of the character. So that is hats off. So I think you share the same opinion as Mr. Shitij. The pace of the delivery and pronunciation. You work on your pronunciation, your overall performance will go 100 notches higher. थोड़ा सा pronunciation में और accuracy आ जाएगी ना, आपकी पूरी delivery में जो दम है, that will increase manifold. So we will keep working on your pronunciation from time to time. More role plays would happen, more of work would happen on the negative areas. Start working on your pronunciations. Anytime you have any doubts with regards to corporate communication, corporate vocabulary, come to me. Ask me about pronunciation. I deal with pronunciation and communication all the time. Sometimes I'm only correcting all of you. Please read the pronunciation. 27, for example. So 27. Some people say 40. I'm confused. Like, are you saying 14 or 40? So it's 40, but 14. Oh, sounds keep changing all the time. Strategy. Mr. Fahad, what's your strategy for this year? Strategic is a completely different word. Pronunciations matter. So pronunciations become today, your overall performance will increase manifold in terms of your quality. But thank you so much, Mr. Deepak. Done a great job. Thank you, everyone.